Hello, everybody. Welcome. I see you're all slowly but surely entering the room. So welcome. We're just going to wait a few minutes for a few more to join us. Please start commenting using the comments on the chat just on your right. Please tell us where you're from. Where are you joining us from today in the world? Hello, Umi. Welcome. Good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Please tell us where you're joining us from today. Hi, guys. Lovely to see you. We have 60 coming in already. Fantastic. Good morning, Tiffany. Whereabouts are you from? Let us know. Oh, okay. So we have Trinidad, Jamaica, Brazil. Fantastic. Hello, everybody. Ethiopia, GetNet. Fantastic. Good afternoon to you. Good evening, Bangladesh. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome. If you've just joined us, we are just giving it a few minutes for everybody to hop on the line, and then we will get started slowly but surely. Hi, Emmanuel. Very nice to see you. Hey, in Bugden, and it's great to see you from Houston.
Hi, Kate.
Texas.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much. Good to see you too.
It's always good to have you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone that's joined us. Good morning, good afternoon. As we know, we're a very diverse student body, so it's very exciting to see everybody. So all parts of the world. Hi, guys. We're just going to give it 2 seconds, just a couple of minutes more, and then we'll get started. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Hello from South Africa, Cyprian. Good to see you. Hope everybody is staying very safe over there right now. So, right. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We're just going to give it, say, 1 more minute. Great, thank you. Sorry, a bit of feedback just there. So, guys, I think we're going to get started now as we've got a load of people. Hello, Losa from Zambia. Hi, Gerald from Haiti. It's great to have you. I think we're going to get started. So thank you so much for all coming on our How to Balance Life and Study today with us at University of the People. It's such a pleasure for you to come and join us today. We have a wonderful team of our program advisors. We have 2 wonderful program advisors on with us today who are going to be helping answer your questions. So if you do have any questions, please put them on the chat. We will try to get through as many questions as we can today, particularly for those of you that are on a leave of absence at the moment. Now, anything that you have around the university, we would love to help answer them. And then, of course, in Bugden and I will answer questions and keep an eye on the chat as we go. And with that, I am so delighted to introduce to you, some of you may know him. He's very famous in our university, a very, very good friend of our university, and Bugden Basie. It's so great to have you back. Hello.
Thank you so much, Kate. So good to be here. I'm so excited. It's always an honor to be here. Well, for those who don't know me, my name's Bugden Basie. I'm a business administration student. I'm a 2-time author. In fact, I wrote my 2nd book, Entering the Zone of Success, while still taking classes. So it's possible to juggle a lot of things in life. I help overwhelmed and overworked employees turn their gifts into profit. So we're here today to just help you, give you tools, the tips, and everything you need, the motivation you need to get back to your studies so you can get that degree in your hand and go and impact your world.
Absolutely. And how long have you been studying with us?
This is probably my 2nd year now. I learned about the university. Was it I think it was 29. Actually, a lady, I was speaking to someone and she said, hey, there's this school, University of the People, that it's tuition free, and you can get a degree at really cheap. And I'm thinking, really? So when she got off the phone with me, I went online and Googled it. And started the application process, and the rest is history. I've had such a pleasant experience studying the University of the People, so I'm excited.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And we're going to go into in this session today to talk about how to balance work and life, because it isn't easy, and you've said this many times, and we'll talk about this more, but the difficulty between trying to juggle life, work, studying, it is hard, and it challenges us. And I know you've been through those challenges personally. So we're looking forward to talking this through. But before we start, I want to just a couple of housekeeping items. First of all, this webinar is set up for one-way audio. So we cannot hear anybody else. We can only hear each other. And also, please, as we've said, use this chat box to ask any questions that you have. Our team are on here to answer your questions. We will help answer questions, as many as we can as well. So this is what we're going to go through. We're going to run for about 45 minutes today. We're going to start talking about goal setting. We're then going to talk about tips for online learning, moving into managing around a school life balance. We're then going to talk a little bit about the registration portal, just for those of you, again, that are on a leave of absence right now, just to explain to you what the process looks like, give you any updates, and then move into any discussion points or any further questions that we feel that we want to discuss throughout this. So, goal setting and Bugden. You not only are a student, you work full time, but you have written how many books now published?
2 books.
2 books. 2 books. So please tell me about your goals. What were your short-term goals, maybe your long-term goals, and what was it that you wanted to use your degree for to help you achieve those goals?
Well, okay, thank you so much. One of my long-term goals is honestly I'll start with my dad. My dad studied in Howard University in Washington, D.C., went back to Nigeria and became a faculty member at one of the local universities there. And when I was growing up, I always wondered, why would my dad get all his education, got a master's, got a bachelor's, and go teach in a school? So I always told myself I would never do that. But as I began to grow older, I realized that I just have a passion for teaching. I have a passion for educating, motivating, and helping people. So I said, you know what? One day I walked into a local college here, and I just felt at home. And I said, okay, that was my clue. I'm supposed to be teaching in a college. So one of the reasons I'm going for my degree is to get that degree so I can be able to teach in one of the local community colleges in Houston, Texas, because it's like someone says, find what makes you come alive and do more of it. Teaching, motivating, and helping students makes me come alive. And so that's why I'm working towards my degree, so I can fulfill that passion of helping students in the community college. Yeah,
that's amazing. So when it comes to actually planning your goals day to day, week to week, month to month, we talk a lot about SMART goals. They're the most used, I think, in terms of when it comes to trying to define those. Do you use SMART goals around your university work? And how do you generally try and plan the goals that you want to achieve in your weeks around everything else that you do in terms of work, family, life, etc.?
Well, you said it earlier, Kate. Balancing life, work, family, study, that gets overwhelming. So one of the things I do, I definitely have to use SMART goals. And SMART goals basically it starts with being specific. What do I really want to accomplish? For example, from week to week, I have to read the chapters. Sometimes the chapters could be 2 chapters. Sometimes it's 1 chapter. I remember the first time taking a class, and I had 60 pages to read in 1 week. Kate, I got really scared.
Surprised.
So specific. I said, okay, what do I do? I can't wait till Wednesday to try to do this. So I had to start as early as Thursday, just breaking it into chunks. So first of all, I had to be specific what I wanted to do. The next thing I had to make it measurable. So I'm going to read 10 pages. 10 pages within this hour, take a break, do what I need to do, come back and schedule time. And then I had to set attainable goals. And I think one of the challenges a lot of people have when they set goals, they sit down there and say, I'm going to read 60 pages in 1 hour. Listen, that's almost impossible. So instead of trying to read 60 pages in 1 hour, why don't you give yourself 5 hours, 6 hours to read 60 pages? But instead of reading it in 1 5-hour chunk, break it up into little bites. Like you can do one on Thursday, do 10 pages on Thursday, do 15 pages on Friday. Just break it up so that it's not overwhelming. Then you talk about time bound. I think one of the big things also with online learning is it's this myth. No one is basically telling you what to do, right? So it's almost like you're free. So that's the trap. So my goals, I had to make sure my goals were time bound, where I say, okay, I'm going to finish reading these 60 pages before Monday so I can get to write my paper, participate in discussion posts and all that stuff. So I definitely use the SMART goals to help me achieve my dreams of studying at the University of the People.
Sander has asked just around whether you have tests or assignments every week. So maybe for those that aren't as familiar, I know obviously Bottom's on the business administration course. As we all know, we have other courses and programs here. But Bottom, perhaps you can just explain to Sander what your week to week looks like regarding any assignments or tests that we do here at the university.
Well, tell me the question again. I'm sorry, I missed it.
So Sander had asked, do we have tests or assignments each week? Perhaps you can just explain in your words how it works at the university around what you have to complete each week.
Okay, so each week you basically have reading assignments. So it could be a chapter. Sometimes some teachers give you 2 chapters, and so when you have the chapters, once you're done with the chapters, they have a discussion post. So the discussion post, sometimes they'll tell you, well, not less than 100 words or not more than 300 words. And so you write the discussion post, you post it to a forum. And when you post it to the forum, you have up to Wednesday to respond to your fellow classmates, but you cannot respond until you've posted yours. Most weeks, you also have a written assignment. The written assignment, basically, it expects you to use the APA format to write maybe a 2-page. Sometimes teachers will tell you, well, 2 pages, 2 pages, maybe 500 words, whatever it is, but you have to use it has to be a formal college paper, and so that's what that's also due by Wednesday. What most classes would do is they have which is due on Thursday, is what they call your learning journal. Your learning journal is basically, this is where you express to this is just between you and the instructor, where you can tell the instructor, well, this week was challenging. You basically you can pour out your heart, but most instructors also give you a focused question for you to answer. And once you answer those questions, you post it. There's no really right or wrong answer. The instructor is just trying to get your feedback and to see what your challenges are for that week. So it's really the big thing, Kate, is just spacing it out. You have to space it out, because if you wait till Wednesday, it just gets overwhelming and frustrating.
I mean, procrastination. I mean, that leads us on to balancing the time. So let's talk about this. So I think this is a really interesting statement here. I pulled this from a very popular blog that we have on the UO People website. May I just suggest to everybody on here, if you haven't visited our blog pages on our site, please do so. We have thousands of blogs that are published by our amazing content team on so many different topics, all sorts of topics, and outside of what the university does as well. But this is what I took from it. And it was about, in online learning, you must be your own motivator, timekeeper, and disciplinarian. But you must also be your own cheerleader and celebrate the small wins. So in Bottom, I know that you took a leave of absence for a little while, for a period during your time here at the university. And I would love to know maybe what techniques you applied to try and shift your mind a little bit to get into the space of understanding online learning and motivating yourself to get things done and celebrating those wins, because it is really hard, isn't it?
It is hard. I think, Kate, when I got into the online learning space, I had three misconceptions. I basically call them three myths. Number one, I thought it was going to be easy. It was just going to be, oh man, it was going to be a breeze. It was a shocker for me. The second myth I had, I said it should take less study time. It's online learning. I can just take my textbook and read it in 1 hour and answer the questions. I'm smart. I'm good. I can do this. That was another myth. The last myth I had was I could procrastinate to the last minute and try and answer the questions, and many times I failed. So I like what you said earlier. You said in online learning you have to learn to be your own motivator. That's one of the things I had to learn to do. I had to learn to motivate myself, because I talk about 3Ds. One of the 3Ds is discouragement. You're going to get discouraged, and most people who are listening to me right now will agree with me. With online learning, there are going to be days you're just discouraged. It's like, oh my God, I can't even get. I remember taking a class and the professor kept talking about, you have to make sure you use the APA format. And I was just, for the life of me, I couldn't figure this thing out. I wanted to, many times I talked myself out of quitting. So you have to be your own motivator. Next thing you gotta keep time. That's one of the things I had to learn. I had to learn how to manage my time, because life was happening. I have my work, I have business, I have everything going on, and then I had to learn to be disciplined. I think that's the biggest thing, especially when you take time off work, off school, and coming back. It's like you have to learn that discipline, and which was what I had to do to be able to get back into the flow of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And then coming up to really talking about our peers and asking for support and review, can you just talk about how do you work with others within your classes? How do you stay connected? And how do you support each other to make, see how your way of learning works best for you? How do you sort of engage with other students?
Well, I think when you're taking a class with fellow students, within 9 weeks, after a while, you start growing close to them, because you're reading their work, you're critiquing their work. And I remember one of my classes, one of the students created a WhatsApp group just so we can communicate and help and say, oh, hey, Bassi, wait, I was studying this stuff. What did the professor do? Yeah, that's my last name. What does this mean? It's funny. So that's one of the ways we stayed in touch. And also, like, you online learning, you need all the support you can get. And I want to encourage anyone, you have to be willing to ask for help. And that's one of the things I've learned, just asking for help, talking to my professor, talking to my classmates, and also using the resource center provided by University of the People.
Absolutely. So time management and scheduling, and we did have a question there from Naomi, who said, what do you suggest for a person that works 40 hours a week to manage times for their assignments? So Bugden, you work full time as well, right?
Yes, I do.
Right, we want to hear. Tell us how you manage your time. We're very interested, because this is very important for people to make this work around work.
Well, kid, one of the things you realize, we make time for things that are important to us. Sometimes I used to tell myself I didn't have time, but somehow I was all caught up on all my TV shows. I was caught up on talking on the phone for hours. And so when school becomes more important to you than all those things, you now have to create the time. So you work 40 hours, for example, you work a 9-to-5 job, or maybe you work the overnight shift. After you come back from work, create time. You have to, okay, Kate, most of the people who are listening to me, if they have a doctor's appointment, they have it scheduled on their phones. They have it scheduled on their calendar. So you have to schedule time for study. It's not going to be perfect. Find out what works for you and begin to use it. Do more of what works for you. And that's how you get success. That's how you're able to manage your time. It's not going to be easy at first, but with practice and help, you can make it work. And also, before we move on, Kate, one of the
Yeah.
things you can also do, we all have program advisors. Your program advisors,
Yeah.
they're here to help you with such things. So if you have challenges with managing your time, reach out to your program advisor and ask for help.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mbotadem. And also just a few comments just from the chat. If any of you have experienced any connection issues or have missed any of this or need to leave early because you have other commitments, as we're talking about time management, you will all be emailed the recording of this, which you can watch in your own time. So everybody who has registered, you will receive a copy of this webinar to watch after the session. So leading on from time management, let's talk a bit about procrastination. I am terrible at procrastinating. And one of the things they try and advise here, and again, at UO People, we have lots of resources available through student services to try and help people with their online study. All we want to do is see you succeed. It's in our interest. We want to help you and make sure that you succeed. So we are here to support you, like Boston said, your program advisors, your structures and or instructors and your peers. Boston, are you a procrastinator? Or have you been in the past and you've been able to change it?
I don't want to say that on camera, you know?
but you know, this is a safe space. But if you are, have you found techniques of maybe shifting things around? Because obviously you have certain amounts of time to do your work that's required then by the deadline. Have you got any tips for any of us procrastinators out there that can help?
First of all, I'm a big procrastinator, especially with online learning. When I took my first few classes, I had to learn the hard way because I waited till Wednesday. And oh my God, I did meditation, I did prayer, I did all kinds of stuff on Wednesday to get through, because I waited to redo all the reading and the writing. And after taking one or two classes, I had to learn. And so for those of us who like to procrastinate, this is what I would say. Listen, know yourself. Don't deceive yourself. Yeah. Don't lie to yourself. Say, okay, I'm a procrastinator, so I'm going to start early in the week. And just one of the things I do, I schedule everything on my phone to schedule what you want to do. So for example, if you know you like to procrastinate, because this is another myth, right? Some people say, well, I do my best work when I'm under pressure. Have you ever said that, or have you ever heard that? I do my best work when I'm under pressure. I used to say that to myself, and it was not really good, because I would turn in papers that had a lot of typos and misspellings because I didn't have time to proofread. So what I started doing was I created artificial deadlines. So one of the things you want to do is create artificial deadlines. So instead of waiting for Wednesday, just say, okay, my deadline is Sunday. I'm going to get my assignments done by Sunday, and then schedule time to study and do it. But when you feel tired or you feel overwhelmed, take a break. Go run, go exercise, talk on the phone with someone, then come back and get back to reading. But you have to give yourself time Don't wait till the last minute, especially if you're a procrastinator.
Absolutely. Just to note for some of you that I know that mine and Bottom's lovely faces seem to be blocking some of the titles of our presentation here. If anybody of you would like this presentation, we can also issue that to you as well. But obviously we'll note for the settings next time. And of course, I will talk through everything, but I'm glad you can see the majority of the screen. What we like to do with these, we could turn our cameras off, but I just feel like it's great for us to see you and see each other. There's so much that we just don't get to see each other right now. So I am going to keep the cameras on. But again, thank you so much for letting me know about the settings, and we'll do that for next time. So creating a safe study, a comfortable and safe study space. It feels like such a simple thing. It almost feels like, of course you would want a comfortable study space, but it's so important that you really are productive in the area that you're working so that you can focus. Bottom, where in the house do you study? Do you have a place that you sort of go to, or like how do you manage your space so that when you are working and doing your assignments that you are able to focus and that you feel productive and not distracted by things going on at home?
Well, I do have, there's studies that have shown that you need to have a dedicated place because, for example, the studies that show if you go on your bed, you immediately your your body knows it's time to sleep. So also with study, I have a safe place where I can study. So when I get there, my body knows, okay, this is a place for study. So creating a study place environment is very, very important. Take the distractions down, and find a place that's quiet. It's important. That's one of the things I do. I do have a study place. In fact, I like the picture you have right there. Mine looks almost like that, where I have my laptop, I have my desk is clean because I don't want distraction. Clutter distracts me. And so yeah, I do have a place for study.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, and before I move on, one thing I forgot to mention just about this slide is on the picture here. Prince X is one of, it's an Instagram handle, but it's actually one of our students based in India. We recently did a challenge on influative. So for any of you that are with us right now that have not heard of being part of the Student Ambassador Program, where you will be invited onto our platform Influative, please consider joining us on there, because we post all sorts of challenges where we ask for people to send us content for our social media. And this comes from our study space challenge that we did recently. And we posted lots of pictures on Instagram of people's study spaces. I don't know about you in Bugden, but I am very nosy and love looking at people's study spaces. I'm just obsessed with it. I love it. It's just so interesting, and seeing the views. I mean, it's great. So always good to see where people are studying from. As we know, you can study anytime, anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection. So it is super easy to study with us. So thinking about work, again, going back into work and talking about schedules, something that we like to recommend is just, again, for those of you maybe that are still living at home, living with family, talking about your schedules with them, asking for any advice that you have. And we always feel that it's a great thing to maybe start, particularly if you're new to the university, starting with a few less hours per week and building yourself up in terms of how many courses you take. And Bugden, did it take you some time to sort of build yourself up? Was there any conversations that you needed to have with your family to say, okay, these are the hours that we could spend together, these are the hours I need to study? I'm just interested to see how you kind of worked it around becoming an online student and changing your lifestyle at home a little bit.
Oh, definitely. I think one of the things that's the biggest thing you have to do. I had to have the conversation with my wife. Okay, this time I'm studying, I'm busy at this time. Okay, it's because I'm working, I'm doing other things, but I needed to have my study time. But also, I think it's a conversation that's necessary. But also, you said something about working the hours. Most people, when they get back to school, they want to go hard. I want to go full time. That's the biggest mistake you can make, especially when you've been out of school for a while. One of the things I noticed, Kate, I'll tell you this. One of the things I noticed was if I take when I started out taking one class, I could get an A with one class, but if I took classes, I would get B's on them. So I had to basically get my reading back. So when you're out of school for a while, start easy, go easy, take one class, because what you're doing, especially when you've been out of school for one semester, one term, two terms, you lose the reading, you lose the momentum. So you want to get back that momentum. To get back that momentum, you want to start slow and just steady. Get back your reading times, get back because sometimes it's also in the mind. It's a mindset. How because even sometimes studying, you need that concentration. And if you've been out of school for a while, you forget how to do it. So you want to get back that reading. So starting easy, slowly, steady is very much recommended.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we've kind of talked about this already, so we won't go, we'll go quite quickly here, but we've talked a lot about working while attending school. And just to reiterate that 98% of our enrolled students also work, just like in Bugden does, and many of you. And it's all, we've talked about this already. It's just about finding support, advice. Everybody understands this is what makes it so different to study with University of the People compared with other traditional universities, because so many of us are balancing personal commitments, work, and study. That's why so many choose to go to online study. But on Bugden, again, just to reiterate, have you found a lot of support from the people in your classes and that you work with, and you help each other and understand each other's situation, that it's hard work, but you keep going?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's funny. Sometimes you build friendship from these classes. I mean, I have friends in Pakistan, Dubai, Nigeria,
Yeah.
South
Amazing
Africa.
places.
It's just because when we're in the class, you're interacting with them, you're asking for help, you go into the forums for the courses and you're asking questions. Someone's responding. You get to know them, and so yeah, it's amazing how just asking for help and connecting with people has been beneficial to my study at the University of the People.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our attendees have just said, first of all, you've had some lovely comments in Bugden. Someone said that you were super cool.
Thank you. I like that.
Hector. Thanks, Hector. Someone really nice as well, just saying about, we do work. It's absolutely true. We work across a lot of different cultures, a lot of different time zones, ages. You're never going to meet such a diverse group of people as you will at University of the People. And so something remote is respect of each other's differences, any cultures, understandings. It's really important part of our makeup of the university. And we try and nurture a very positive environment, an international environment. It's what makes it so fun about studying here. So just like Bugden said. So a couple of things I'd like to go through for those of you that are currently on a leave of absence. And if you are on a leave of absence, we very much have built out this webinar, especially for you. Some students today have joined us who are, our students are not on a leave of absence. But for those of you that are, we very much would love to have you back and to come study with us. So if you would like to do that, what needs to happen is this. You are going to receive an email from our student services team very soon that's going to give you a selection of dates. Those dates will be very particular. So please follow that email and log into the portal. Once you've logged into the portal, I'm going to show you a few screen grabs because the portal may have, it's been updated and upgraded this year. So it may look a little bit different to what you've been used to. But then you need to go in and enter your courses and start the registration process. Now, for any of you that have not received, do not receive the email, and it will be sent after this webinar as well. So please look out for it in the coming weeks. Please then contact your program advisor if you have not received the email for any concerns. So in terms of how we look, we've had a facelift. It looks amazing. As we always like to invest in our technology, being an online university. This is what the new registration page looks like. Everything should be very, very straightforward. This is just a test example of what we have here. But again, you just follow the portal instructions, very, very simple. As you go through, this is about how you select the courses. Please note these examples here, we took them from foundations courses. So please don't worry if you think, oh, this looks very different. This is from foundations. Once you confirm your registration, please then wait for your approval. So your approval could come anything from 24 hours or more, or up to a week. It really depends. As you know, we manage a lot of new students processing. So please do be patient and we will get that approval to you to get you onto those courses. And again, any concerns that you have your program advisor team. And we very much look forward to having you back. And any questions that you have, you know where we are, and we're here to help you. So that's the portal process. Please look out for your emails, those of you that are on leave of absence, and we really hope to have you back very, very soon. So a couple of updates whilst we have you. Some of you may not be in tune with what's been going on in the university in the last couple of months, so I did want to give you a couple of updates. So this this was back over in February, March. We had some super exciting new partnerships that were announced. Partner universities. Harvard Business School Online is now an official university partner, as is McGill University, one of the best universities in the world in Canada. We also have IFAT University and the LIU, Long Island University. So we have had those universities add where we have very specific agreements with them to benefit our UO People students, to give you even more opportunities and platforms to study with us, or maybe go on to study with partner universities. In addition to that, since then, we have had our bachelor's degree launched in our Arabic division. So we now not only offer an associate's degree, we offer a bachelor's degree. We are the first American university to do it. Isn't that so cool? So we're super excited to offer that. And we have recently launched certificates as well. So we now offer health science and business administration certificates. They will be rolled out to our current students in due course, but right now they're for our new students coming in. But for that's obviously on offer for those that cannot afford the time. Particularly, it's for time for investing into a bachelor's degree and associate's degree. We have even more options at the university as well. So isn't that fun? We are just growing and growing. We have over 75,000 students studying with us now. 75,000, which is incredible. So there's just so many exciting things happening at University of the People, and this is what we want. We really want everybody to come on board with us because it's a very exciting time. So we have around about 7-8 minutes left of the webinar. So let's see if there are any questions. That I know our program advising team have been doing an incredible job answering our questions. So I'm going to just see if there is anything here in Bugden to answer. So first of all, well, whilst I look for questions in Bugden, how are you enjoying? Can you give us sort of an update as to where you are in your journey right now, and how much longer have you got until you graduate?
Well, I think I should be getting my associates probably by this time by July next year, and then I'll have about 2 more years to get my bachelor's. So I'm pretty excited about that. I was hoping to get it done this year, but some certain things came up. But by July next year, I'll have the associates, and then I have about 1.5 to 2 years to get the bachelor. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is really exciting. A question here is just around about note taking, and I think this is a great question. If in Bugden you have any thoughts on this, just around Genevieve asked what the best way is to make notes if all the study material is provided to you. Should you make notes given that you're not in a physical classroom? How do you do it in Bugden? Do you sort of transfer, and what is your process for when you have all the materials provided? It's a really great question. Thank you.
That's a good question. Everyone's going to be different, but for me, that's why it's important to discover your study style. What I do when I study, I like to highlight and say with the textbooks are online, or what the textbooks are, what do you call it? Virtual textbooks. So
right.
with virtual textbooks, what I can do, what
course
you can
materials,
do, the course material. So you can highlight it. But one of the things I also like to do, like even while we've been talking, I take notes. So when I'm reading, I say, okay, this person we just talked about opportunity cost. I try to write it in my own words, because again, when you're reading a lot of pages, is you tend to forget or you tend to zone out. So one of the things I stay in the moment is I like to take notes. I like to write and just explain it in my own words. And then I like to, like, if you notice, I like to draw diagrams. I draw diagrams and
Yeah.
just so again, find out what works for you. If note taking when you're reading works for you, do it. Some people like to read out loud. I mean, that could make it longer, but whatever works for you, because at the end of the day, you're going to take the test, you're going to be taking the exams, and you need to be able to recall the material. So whatever you do to recall things is what I advise you to do. So for me, I like to take notes, I like to write, and I like to try to reframe what I've read in my own words so that it sticks in my memory.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just having a look at some. There's so many lovely comments. Thank you all so much for all of the comments. And again, the program advising team have done an amazing job today with all the answers as well. One question somebody just asked me was that I'd mentioned the ambassador program and how you join. So you are invited as a new, when you become a new student, each term we send an invite. Now, you may have been sent that invite already in the past. So no worries if you haven't, seen it, or maybe you've missed it. We are going to do another invite, and we're going to put on Yammer coming up. So if you're not already using the Yammer application, please do use that, because we post a lot, particularly on our social team. So we will put out another invite on our Yammer coming up, that we can invite you on to our ambassador group, Influitive, and we would absolutely love to help you. Rotimi has said, thank you so much. This is a very interesting webinar. I love this. Thank you so much, everybody. We really, really appreciate these comments. We really just do this. And Bugden has given his time to us, in addition to all the study, all the work, family life, giving that extra time. So we really, really appreciate it.
Kate,
yes.
I saw a question from Joseph from Indonesia. He says, I just want to ask about the routine of studying in University of the People. Well, we talked about that earlier, but one of the things we have at the beginning of the week, you have up to Wednesday to turn in your assignment, and then Thursday for the learning journal. So one of the things, you're going to be discussion questions are due on Wednesday, and then you have a written up assignment which is due on Wednesday, and then you have learning journal which is due on Thursday. For the weeks that you have the exam, which is usually the 3rd, the 6th, and then the 9th week, when you have an exam, they are going to be due on Wednesday. So that's the routine. So you have about a week, roughly a week. The week begins on Thursday and ends on Wednesday. So you have roughly about maybe 7 days or 6 days to get your work done. And some professors require you to post your discussion assignment by Sunday. Some professors are lenient on that. They say, okay, just get it done by Wednesday. And so at the end of the day, you just want to make sure you're managing your time, especially with online learning. Things happen so fast. 9 weeks can look so long and so overwhelming. So it's just managing your time from week to week, winning. Sometimes some weeks are going to be, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You want to quit. Some weeks you're going to be like, yeah, I got everything done on time. Some weeks your peers are going to grade your assignments and you get so mad.
Yeah.
But you can always talk to your professor. Your professor, usually what they do is when you complain about that, they readjust it. But whatever you do, you have your professors, you have your program advisors, and you have the learning center to get all the help you desire.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Bugden.
I think
that's probably an amazing way to finish off. Appreciate again all the amazing supportive comments that we've had from this webinar today. So many people giving their time to come and join us today. So thank you all so much for coming. We have all your details. If there's anything you want to follow up on, please let us know. And it's a real pleasure chatting to you all. It's been super fun. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And Bugden and I basically have a very light-hearted approach to these, that we basically just have a really good time and chat, and I hope you've all really enjoyed it as well. So
Hey, Kate, can I end with this, with three C's for success in online learning? Three C's. Number one, clarity.
yeah.
What do you want? Most of you signed up initially because you wanted to get your degree, but life has happened, things have come up, you got discouraged, family stuff. But get back to your why. Why did you sign up initially? You wanted your degree. Get clear on that. Get clear on your why. The next thing, the next C, the second C is going to be commitment. Online education is going to be challenging. It doesn't matter if you go to a physical school or online school, there are going to be challenges. Nothing happens in your comfort zone. It's not going to be comfortable. It's going to be a stretch. So you want to be committed to the long haul. Is it going to take you 4 years? It's going to take you 2 years. Whatever it's going to, however long it's going to take you, you want to stay committed. And lastly, you want confidence. How do you get confidence? Confidence comes from getting little wins on the way. So give yourself little wins. When you read your 10 chapters, do a little dance. Get an ice cream. If you like to work out, go work out, eat some veggies, whatever you do. That's how you build confidence. Celebrate your wins. And the more you celebrate your wins, the more your confidence will grow. As your confidence grows, you're going to stay in school. So again, the three C's are: number one, get clarity. Number two, commitment. Number three, confidence. Get confidence along the way. Those are the three C's for success in online learning.
I can't top that. That's amazing. Bugden, thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for being an amazing student with us. And thank you to everybody, amazing students out there joining us today. You will all be sent a copy of this webinar. Please feel free to forward it on. If you have friends or family that want to watch this, please do feel free to forward it on. And for those of you on leave of absence, we very much look forward to having you back. Wow, Johannes, thank you, Kate and Boji. It's midnight here. Gosh, thank you guys. Take care, everyone. We'll leave it there and stay safe.